Tonight on Citrus TV News, the new Amazon headquarters will be far away in New York City, but some experts say it could have a massive impact on CNY.
And officials are beginning to count absentee ballots in the hotly contested 22nd District. Will Anthony Brindisi hold on to beat incumbent Claudia Tenney?
We saw our first heavy snowfall of the season last night, and it's expected to continue throughout the week. I'll have more of my full weather forecast. Citrus TV News starts right now.
Now, Citrus TV News live at 6 starts with breaking news.
Police are currently investigating a suspicious package at a gas station near Destiny, USA. Good evening, I'm Jack Watson.
And I'm No Eagle. Onondaga County Bomb Squad is on the scene at the pilot station of North Salina Street.
A package was left near the gas pumps, and it is not clear whether or not there was any danger.
Officials are taking precautions, and sections of North Salina Street are now closed. Citrus TV will keep you updated as more information is released.
And winter is officially here. Well, I mean, not officially, but it is in my book. We have snow on the ground finally.
Unfortunately, there is snow on the ground, and it's starting to stick, and I heard we actually might get more. So Citrus TV weather anchor Amber McElrath, is there any truth to it?
It's flurrying around me right now, but the flurries are supposed to clear up about 1 p.m. That doesn't make it any less cold, though. I have my hat, my gloves, my coat. I even have coffee, and I'm still out here freezing. It's 29 degrees right now, but it feels like 19 degrees. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to get much warmer. As we go into tonight, it's going to drop down to 18 degrees, which is a little too close to single digits, if you ask me. And as you look at our future radar here, those flurries, like I said, are supposed to stop around 1 p.m. and we shouldn't really be seeing any snow tonight into tomorrow morning. I'll have more coming up in my full weather forecast from the studio where it's nice and warm on Citrus TV News.
All right, Amber, thanks so much. SU students are planning to remember and honor those lost in a mass shooting at a California bar last week. At around 8 p.m. in the Orange Grove outside Carnegie Library, a candlelight vigil will be held in remembrance of those people who lost their lives at the Borderline Bar on what was College Country Night. Members of the Thousand Oaks community in California and those across the country have held vigils in the wake of the tragedy. And TEDx Syracuse University is looking for speakers for their next year event. TEDx is an independent event put together by local organizers from the group that oversees TED Talks. To get involved, TEDx will judge your content by story relevance and other factors like how it may impact the community.
Throughout the semester, members of the SU community attended a speaker series to learn about Islam. Citrus TV reporter Carmella Boykin discusses how a series has had a direct impact.
Islam taught me how to evaluate myself and to find out that I'm not going to be here too long.
Although this looks like a regular lecture, there's more going on than what meets the eye. This is the final class from Understanding Islam, a series created by Islamic chaplain Amir Durek. He says the main purpose is to educate people from all denominations and
to give people opportunity to get a comprehensive look at Islam, since we have many misconceptions about Islam today.
This week's speaker is formerly incarcerated gang leader Alamin Muhammad, who now helps the homeless community in Syracuse. Muhammad says converting to Islam is what changed his life.
I found who Alamin Muhammad was. I started finding a lot of gifts about me. I started finding my purpose.
That purpose is helping those in need, like class attendee Nedu Ubachukwu.
I'm actually in the process of getting evicted, so it was kind of like, I felt like it was a sign from God, because I had no idea what he was going to be talking about today. I just came.
Ubachukwu converted to Islam in February and is attending the class to learn more. He says after hearing Muhammad, he now has hope.
It just made me feel like I automatically feel like I'm going to be okay. Like I don't feel like any sense of like fear or worry. Like I don't feel like I have anything to be afraid about.
And ultimately, that's what Durek says the class is about.
To give opportunity to people of different backgrounds to come together and to share their story.
Carmella Boykin, Citrus TV News.
All right, thanks so much, Carmella. Krause Hospital will no longer transfer its outpatient drug treatment program to what used to be the Salina Street Sears building. That's according to a report from Syracuse Post-Standard, which says that some people living on Syracuse's south side do not want the treatment center there. Other south side residents supported the potential $20 million plan, citing the fact that the center would actually help addicts in need. Snow season is upon us, and plow drivers in Syracuse might not need a license to operate their snow plows. Certain lawmakers are now arguing having a license in the first place is somewhat pointless. A few weeks ago, the Syracuse Common Council approved a hike in the fine for driving a plow without a special license, which was at one point actually cheaper than getting a license itself.
Well, speaking of that snow, Noah, we woke up to quite a bit of snow this morning, and while some people might not be happy to see it, Citrus TV's Ally Heath learned why others may be worrying for their wallets.
As the temperature drops in Syracuse, most people crank up the heat, which cranks up utility bills. Homeowner Yusuf Abdul Qadir sees this as a problem for low-income areas in the city.
This issue is not just something that's a luxury item, it's something that really directly impacts people's pockets, right? If you've got to heat your home, and if you know anything about Syracuse and Central New York, you've already started heating your home, you know quite clear that that's a significant expense.
Syracuse is considered a sustainable community in New York, but as Lindsay Spear points out, its heating systems in some areas don't match up with that claim.
How do we bring our heating and cooling into the 21st century? Most of us in Central New York are still heating and cooling our homes with what is quite literally dinosaur technology.
The solution? Heat Smart CNY, a campaign designed to bring more sustainable and cost-effective heating systems into homes across Syracuse. The project has a strong backing from the city, including from the mayor and the Common Council.
Now, if you think it might be too expensive to install the new system, think again. Heat Smart CNY and the city are offering subsidies and rewards to people who are willing to make the switch, so that you can feel a little bit more comfortable unzipping your coat and cranking up the heat once you walk in your door.
Abdul Qadir says his mother, who's considered to be in the low-income bracket, previously installed a geothermal system in her home. While the new subsidies may have made the process cheaper, the conversion was still beneficial to her.
But the reality is that that system has helped to make sure my mom has been able to heat and cool her home in a way that's accessible to her.
It works on so many levels. It's economically, it makes sense. Environmentally, it makes sense. Socially, it makes sense.
Spear says the state needs to convert 200,000 homes to renewable heating each year to reach its sustainability goals. And this is just one way Syracuse can help out. Reporting for Citrus TV News, I'm Ally Heath.
And Heat Smart CNY is starting their information workshops and tours this Thursday at 6 p.m. in the Southside Innovation Center.
Well, if you took a trip to Destiny USA this week, you may have noticed that one store was missing. J. Jill, the women's apparel store, closed its doors at the mall on Sunday. They'll be opening a new store tomorrow morning in Fayetteville at the town center. Sealed absentee ballots are opening in Broome and Oneida counties as the New York 22nd District House race remains in the balance. Over half of nearly 14,000 absentee ballots are from the two counties. Democrat Anthony Brindisi leads Republican incumbent Claudia Tenney by just over 1,000 votes. Analysts say that if those ballots follow the trend set on Election Day, Brindisi will pick up 490 net votes in Broome County and 42 net votes in Oneida County, boosting the Democrats' overall lead to over 1,800 votes. New York Senator Chuck Schumer will keep his position as a Senate Minority Leader following the 2018 midterms. Mitch McConnell of Kentucky will again lead the Republicans, who have a majority in the upper house of Congress, but current Majority Whip John Cornyn will not return to his position. The position instead will be occupied by South Dakota Senator John Thune.
The American Red Cross is calling for more blood donations around Thanksgiving. The Red Cross says it is short several thousand donations with winter right around the corner. Donation centers are located at multiple locations across Syracuse and around central New York. And Amazon is not putting its new headquarters in central New York, but the region may still benefit from the company's new Queens location. President of Center State CEO Robert Simpson says he hopes the Syracuse area could benefit from a possible spin-off location. Simpson added that Amazon has been studying the possibility of a drone delivery since there is a drone test corridor between Rome and Syracuse. He says it could be used for research and development.
Coming up after the break, the death toll continues to rise in the devastating California wildfires.
And the DOJ releases a statement on the controversial acting attorney general. Stay tuned.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah.
Hey Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires. Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They'll test you. Try to break your will.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. The death toll in the Northern California wildfires is now reportedly at 51.
The death toll statewide is now at 51, as Jack said. A new lawsuit alleges Pacific Gas and Electric indirectly caused the now infamous Camp Fire by not properly inspecting power lines.
Earlier today, a second fire began in Southern California. However, experts believe the fire will not cause as much destruction as powerful wind gusts will die down over the coming days.
Today, the Justice Department looked to answer questions about the legitimacy of Matt Whitaker taking over as acting Attorney General. In a memo, the DOJ says that Whitaker's appointment is in fact constitutional.
This comes after the state of Maryland challenged the appointment, claiming the president ignored constitutional law by appointing Whitaker. According to the DOJ, however, although this situation has not occurred since 1866, Whitaker can officially take the position legally. A small section of the migrant caravan traveling north from Latin America has reached the U.S.-Mexican border. U.S. Secretary of Defense James Mattis and Homeland Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen visited for a tour of the border.
Ahead of the midterm elections, President Trump made the migrant caravan a key campaigning talking point, sending thousands of soldiers to the border. Now, according to Mattis, however, there should have been no direct contact between U.S. soldiers and the caravan.
At the present, I do not anticipate military personnel coming into direct contact with migrants.
Arrests have been made in connection to a 2016 massacre in Ohio that claimed the lives of 8 people. According to prosecutors, the attack was premeditated.
4 members of the Wagner family are the alleged killers of the 8 Rodin family members. 2 more Wagners, both grandmothers, are accused of helping to cover up the crime.
Prosecutors say the alleged killers studied their victims and became familiar with their routine sleeping patterns and even the layout of their homes. Then, in April of 2016, shot and killed the 8 victims at 4 different locations in the small town of Piketon, Ohio.
The ages of the victims range between 16 and 44. Some of the accused Wagner family members could face the death penalty. And U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos will propose an overhaul of the rules colleges must abide by when evaluating sexual assault and harassment.
According to the Washington Post, the proposal would broaden the rights of people accused of sexual misconduct, including the option to cross-examine accusers.
DeVos previously removed Obama-era rules, citing a lack of due process for those accused. The proposal is expected to be released before the Thanksgiving holiday.
And a pilot is dead in a supersonic jet crash at a Texas Air Force base near the southern border.
The crash happened Tuesday night at Laughlin Air Force Base in Del Rio, Texas. Reports say another pilot was also hospitalized.
The base will reportedly suspend flying to allow for a time of mourning.
The violence and persecution by military and vigilantes that resulted in driving 700,000 Rohingya to Bangladesh is without excuse.
That's Vice President Mike Pence condemning the persecution of the Rohingya in Myanmar. Following the ethnic persecution of the Rohingya people, Vice President Mike Pence is calling on Suu Kyi to bring those responsible to justice.
Myanmar has come under intense scrutiny from the international community for its persecution of the Rohingya and continued human rights violations.
Pence also spoke about the free press after 2 Reuters journalists were also arrested nearly a year ago and are still in prison in Myanmar.
And moving to Europe now, as Theresa May has a Brexit deal on paper, but the British cabinet is not entirely happy with it. The Telegraph reports that about 1/3 of the cabinet spoke out against the new deal, while ITV says only 1 minister from the Leave campaign spoke out in favor of the deal.
The new deal features a 5-person arbitration between the UK and the European Union, as well as financial provisions to cover the transition. One of the key issues of the deal, the border between Ireland and Northern Ireland, was temporarily resolved by placing Northern Ireland in the same customs territory as Great Britain.
The European Commission says nothing is agreed yet. And Israel's defense minister resigned today after a botched operation in Gaza led to escalated fighting at the Gaza-Israeli border.
Avigdor Lieberman says he is resigning because he opposes the new ceasefire with Hamas. According to him, it is the same as Israel surrendering to terror.
And without Lieberman, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's majority in parliament is razor thin with just 1 seat. Coming up after the break, everything you need to know about this chilly winter weather in November. Stay tuned.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. As we continue into the winter months, we're going to see a lot of winter storm alerts. Right now, we are in a watch, which is lasting until Friday afternoon. Earlier, we had an advisory, but that ended around 1 p.m. when those flurries ended. And as we look at tomorrow morning, 27 degrees, mostly cloudy, 0% chance of precipitation, so we're not going to be seeing any snow tomorrow morning. And then looking at the rest of Thursday, 9 a.m., 24 degrees. It's going to increase a little bit as we head towards noon, and then get a little chillier as we get towards 6 p.m. Mostly cloudy throughout the day, and those snow showers are going to start again. They're coming back at around 5 p.m. Looking at our highs across central New York, pretty consistent throughout New York. 34 in Syracuse tomorrow, getting a little warmer as we go towards Rochester, but mostly in that low to mid 30 range. And if we look at our highs abroad, so if you want to spend your holiday abroad, I recommend going to Hong Kong or Santiago because it's a lot warmer than it is here. I'll have my full weather forecast, or my 5-day forecast coming up. Back to you guys.
All right, coming up in sports, I've got a preview of both the SU men's and women's basketball games this week, the answer to why a football game is being played in a baseball park, and our favorite segment, sports, for people who just don't care about sports. Stick with us. A lot of fun on the other side of the break.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back. I'm Chris Venzon. Plenty to talk about in sports, so we'll kick it off with Syracuse men's basketball. The boys have a weekend getaway in Cuse's home away from home, Madison Square Garden. On Thursday, it's Cuse versus UConn, so keep an eye on Tyus Battle in that game. The junior said he's working hard on his jumper over the summer, but we've yet to see Syracuse's leading scorer shoot and hit a three-ball against two cupcake opponents. For Connecticut, you might recognize head coach Dan Hurley's surname. He's the baby brother of former Duke legend and current Arizona State head coach Bobby Hurley. Second game of the doubleheader on Friday will be between the winners.
Because you know what's gone down in that gym. One of the great Syracuse players, Melo played there for a lot of years, and that we're able to go back there and play on that court and really you feel it inside.
That was O'Shea Brissett. He's excited about the game headed into Madison Square Garden. It's always special, even though these teams have played 37 times in the past, 37 times in a row. The second game of the doubleheader, however, on Friday will be between the winners of the Iowa Hawkeyes and the number 13th ranked Oregon Ducks and their star freshman Bol Bol. It's all part of the 2018 2K Classic. Moving on, the ladies have already made their way into the city for tonight's top 25 matchup with Texas A&M. Both teams are 2-0 to start the 2018-19 season. Cuse is led by junior guard Tiana Mankakahia. The Australian import set the ACC assists record last season and is pacing the Orange with 13 points per game so far this season. You'll notice there's a theme this week at SU, a ranked team playing a big game in New York City. But check this out. The football team, number 12 Syracuse, takes on number 3 Notre Dame in a baseball park. That's right, Yankee Stadium. The Fighting Irish have smoked the Orange the last few times these teams have met up in the Bronx, but with SU's rise to prominence this season, the defensive end Kendall Coleman is hoping for a different outcome this time around.
Those guys suit up the same way that we do, and I think that's probably been a mistake of past teams, especially that I've been on here at Syracuse. And some guys may think that because they got a number next to their name that there's something greater. Like, no, we're all athletes. We all make plays, and anybody can lose on any given day.
Yeah, they might be suiting up the same, but check out these Notre Dame Yankee-themed threads for the game. If you're a fan of Syracuse or New York's college team and this doesn't rile you up a little, well, you might have to check you for a pulse. Kickoff Saturday is set for 2:30. It's supposed to be snowy on Friday night in New York City, so it should be a fun one. On Monday, Nets guard Karis LeVert dislocated his right foot in a freak accident that was so gruesome we've elected not to show video of the injury, but we have an update. Last night, LeVert tweeted this message from his account saying, "I just want to thank God above all things because despite how bad the injury looked, it could have been a lot worse." Turns out the dislocation luckily did not cause any bones to break and only minor ligament damage. The Nets expect LeVert to rejoin the team later this season after some rehab. He will not need surgery to correct the injury. Very fortunate for Karis. All right, so now it's time for a little sports segment that we like to call Sports for People Who Really Don't Care About Sports. Take a look at this video that we have on the Warriors sideline where lovely couple here on the right got our man Brandon. He's about to propose to his girlfriend Brandy, but if we take a look at the audio, listen for what he says or perhaps really what he doesn't say. Take a listen.
Now, Brandon, I believe you have something you would like to say as well.
Yes, I do. Randy Steele, you're my best friend. I love you more than ever.
Yes, of course.
Did you guys catch it? He didn't actually say, "Will you marry me?" I feel like that's kind of, accepting the terms and conditions before you actually know what you're getting into.
Interesting. I mean, you didn't ask me either, so I won't marry you, and Citrus TV will be back in 90 seconds.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. Now, Amber, we have some students from SU who are heading home tomorrow morning, fortunately with no classes. What's it going to be like for them?
If you're leaving in the morning, you should be okay. The only snow that will be on the ground is what's left over from today, but we are going to start seeing snow showers at around 5 p.m. So if you're leaving in the evening, it might be a little rough. Looking at the rest of the week, we are seeing those snow showers tomorrow night, and then on Friday, there's going to be snow in the morning, and it's going to transition to rain as you go throughout the day. If you're going to be here for the rest of the weekend and you're not leaving on Thursday or Friday, then the weather is looking a little bit better. Cloudy and mostly sunny on Sunday, and the lows are a little bit lower than we'd like to see. The low for today, 18 degrees. Tomorrow, 27. It's getting a little warmer Friday, 34, and then Saturday and Sunday are going to be chilly again. If you're leaving on Thursday, I recommend you leave earlier in the morning, though. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Amber. Real quick, let's turn to some of the joys of the winter. Today in Canada, 2 child refugees from Africa experienced snow for the very first time.
All right, wonderful stuff. The video was posted by a Toronto resident who was hosting a family from Eritrea. According to one report, the clip has been viewed millions of times on social media.
Fantastic stuff. It's really just, you see the joy of winter right there. Gotta love to see what you're seeing.
Absolute winter wonderland. And that's all the time we have tonight. For those of you heading out early, have a great Thanksgiving break. I'm Jack Watson.
And I'm Noah Eagle. We'll say goodnight, and we'll see you soon, Syracuse.